All right, everybody. Welcome on this fine Wednesday evening. My name is Andy. I run the back office over here. Get all the phone calls. Apparently, I'm the IT guy today as well.
Yes.
But you're not here for all of that. You're here for Brandy. She's got her Series 6, 63, 26, Series 65, and her Series 7, which makes her more than qualified to teach you all the things you need to know. And tonight, we're going to go over one of those topics that are, topics that are on all the exams. We're going to do something that is going to be kind of meta.
Yes.
It's in the news. It's current. And then we're going to tie it right into the studying. It's going to be fun. So I'm glad you're here and ready to get this thing going, Brandy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got our course material. This is our 30 minutes of fun. This is where we give you all the free. We're going to have some learning on here. But above all other nights, guys, I know I say this, but above all nights tonight, for sure, 100%. What we are going to talk about tonight in the news, it will tie into the topic of the night. And I want to make sure we make this perfectly clear. We are in no way telling you what to do with your money, your investments, your retirement plans, or where to put your money, what to do with your money, or who or what we recommend. There is no recommendations on here whatsoever. But we are picking something that is topical.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to show you how some of these concepts do work from your studying.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully you have something to not only learn for your test, but also to learn what's going on around you right now.
Yes.
And for some of you, you're already fully licensed. Who knows? This might help you out too.
Yes. Because guys, the other day I got, we get water delivered to the house here because this is also our office. And I have to say this because it's like timing, like the timing is everything, right? And he came to the door and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I wake you?" And I was like, first of all, no, like, do I look that bad in the morning? But he goes, "Do you work from home?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually I do." And he's like, "What do you do?" And we'll teach people how to get their securities license. He's like, "Oh man, bet you guys lost a lot of money last week." And I went, "No." I go, wait. Hold on. First of all, I don't teach people how to do like Instagram trading. Get all offended. Right? And I go, "No, I teach people, about 401ks, IRAs, teach people how to save for their future and, doing mutual funds and stuff." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm 52 and I'm probably going to start taking out of my retirement." I go, "Wait, why would you do that?" "Well, you can't guarantee it's going to be there." You guys see the mentality, right? And I'm sure he's not the only one. Right. And I go, "Well, no, man, you would supplement that with an IRA." "For what?" "I don't have enough money. I got to pay for gas, And you guys see like that is a typical average person's mentality. Okay. So when Andy gave me this article today, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. This is so awesome." And what this article is, guys, is about people who are making a ton of money in their 401ks and their IRAs because they did this thing called buy and hold. I'm just going to keep putting my money in. I'm going to ride the market because people understand that it's not timing with an ing, the market, but it's time in the market.
Yeah. And for my family, my dad retired very, very well. He with his 401k. And it wasn't a pension. He got a pension from the military, but not from the for where he worked. But he just put in. My dad is very disciplined, so every time he got a bonus, every single time he worked overtime, it all went into his 401k or it went into his retirement in some way. In the down years, he doubled it, and it was like, what? That's crazy. Because my dad he's pretty dang smart, and so is my mom. Comes with the market.
Very.
I don't want to brag, but they're pretty self-taught on it, and they do really well.
Yeah, they do.
But they bought more when it was low because it's just common sense. Why?
We'll talk about that.
Brandy will get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he retired very well and doing exactly what this article says. So I know there's a lot of truth to this. And my dad went through Reaganomics. He went through some presidents' economic plans from the 80s and 90s and the 70s that were horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And other coworkers were taking out their money. He kept his in there, even to a lot of scrutiny, and he retired better than all of them by just keeping it in the market.
Yeah, guys, because look, the market cycles every 8 to 10 years, typically. typically, and I got a cool little fancy chart to show you guys, right? But the market cycles typically every 8 to 10 years. What it means is that it has to go through a correction. Guys, if we were always on an upswing, you think inflation's bad now, right? So everything has to reset, refresh. Our bodies need to refresh, right? Our markets need to refresh. So what happens is just like what Andy said, we always like to talk about buy low, sell high, but when people are trendy, they're buying high and selling low.
Trendy or emotional.
Or emotional, right? But if we just look, I'm not retiring for another 10 years. I could ride out this storm because I know when I get out of the other side, as I'm putting money into my 401k, as I'm putting money into my IRA, I'm buying shares cheaper, right? And if we're talking about mutual funds, guess what, guys? When they pay dividends, they're also buying you shares. That's that whole reinvestment thing, right? So everybody's, we're all buying shares at low price. And when the market rebounds, which is inevitable because what goes down goes back up, all of those shares you bought cheap start to increase in value. And that's why people who left their 401ks intact have nice 401ks. But Brandy, the market was so volatile last week. Yeah, it was. So if they happen to put in their 401k when the market was down that day, they got a discount, right? Because they know they're not retiring tomorrow. In fact, one of the examples that I always used to say is this: if you bought your house today and you knew you weren't leaving in 20 years and the market fell out of real estate, does it bother you? You have no intention of selling your house. Well, no, it doesn't, because, I would only care about the value of my house when I would go to sell it. I said, exactly. So why do you care what your 401k is doing at the age of 40? Still got 20 years sitting there. Oh, yeah, that makes so much more sense, right? So, guys.
And if you're not at 40 and you're a little bit older, there are other strategies you can do.
Oh, yes. Yes. And that's what the Series 6 is all about, right? But there's this one thing, guys, and you guys have probably seen this commercial, right? Where fortune favors the brave. Matt Damon said that in that cryptocurrency commercial. Yeah, guys, I don't know if you know this, but cryptocurrency lost, I don't know, $1 trillion over the last week.
That's bravery on another level.
Exactly. Right? Bravery, yes. But guys, it's all about building a diverse portfolio. It's about having your hands in a bunch of different buckets, carrying a bunch of different baskets, instead of putting all of your eggs in one basket. You should never pull money out of your retirement for a trend.
Well, I'll be more specific. Bitcoin is more like Las Vegas.
Mhm.
Same with stocks. You're buying individual stocks on the market.
Mhm.
It's all very much, a roulette table. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where it's going. And Bitcoin is very volatile. So you have to ask yourself, would I pull 401k money to go to Vegas?
Mhm.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Exactly. But now if you got some extra change in your pocket, why not have fun?
And if you're going to pull 401k money to go to Vegas, you got other problems. There's a number out there. There's Gamblers Anonymous.
Yeah. Now, Andy had also brought up a good point before we get into the hard-hitting Wednesday. But he goes, didn't Warren Buffett make a lot of money in 2008 and 2009?
Yeah, I remember that.
And he did, because what he did, and it was over the course of 3 years.
Well, it is the thing that I say every single night. Every single time we've been on here for the Studying Brew, we've been in some good. Let me tell you, the Studying Brew is born in some out of the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this a million times. Look, guys, this is one thing I do know 100%. Why is there only 1% of the population that are wealthy and the other percent is not? Because of simple things like this.
Yes. So, guys, I pulled an article from 2015, right? Because it was basically looking back to the Great Recession. Now, that was a huge market correction, guys. And yes, a lot of people did lose a lot of money, but a lot of people who just stayed the course made a lot of money.
Rich get richer.
That's right. Because they were like, you know what? I don't need this for another 15, 20, 30 years. I'm just going to let it happen. Right. So what Warren did, Mr. Warren, I feel like I'm on a first name basis with him. What Warren did was Berkshire Hathaway. They took they put money into Goldman Sachs because Goldman Sachs bought out Lehman Brothers when
Yes.
Lehman Brothers was failing. They put money into Bank of America and they put money into Dow Chemical.
They also did Wells Fargo.
Yes. And those right there, buying preferred stocks, buying warrants, buying callable preferred stock, all of these things that we learn about in the SIE, it made him something like $15 billion in 3 years.
That's all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He got his money back.
Yeah, he did. Now check this out.
But it's so bad. You don't invest when it's bad like this. You go and get all your money and put it in your mattress.
Now, so check this out, guys. So I did pull a fund, and I really don't want to tell you what fund because this is an example, and I'm not recommending this fund at all. But here's what happened, right? If we put in $10,000 back in 1992, okay, just $10,000, what you guys see in that dark blue is what happened to the fund, right? What happened to that $10,000? And one of the things that happened was right here. That was 2008.
The little blippy blip.
Let me use a highlighter so you guys can see through it.
The little blippity blue.
That
No,
was
the pink was better.
Well, I was trying to see through that, but okay. Bloop. That was 2008. Okay. If you guys look at just the line right there. This was 2009 right there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the end of 2009. More than recovered.
Yeah. Look at 2007 where it was like a high, and then look how it just fell to the floor.
Right. We went from here. Oops. We went from there to back up in 2 years. Now, if you would have sold right there, you were selling at your low. You don't sell at a low.
A lot of people did.
A lot of people do because it's emotional investing.
A lot of people are right now.
A lot of people are right now. Guys, look at what happened. Look at this right here. That is March 2022. You stay the course, you buy, you hold, and this is not even dollar cost averaging, which is what we're going to talk about. This is literally, I put in $10,000 in 1992, and in 2022, let's see, 1992, 30 years, which is a typical 401k, guys. That's you starting a 401k at the age of 30 and retiring at the age of 60.
With only $10,000. No other.
Only 10,000.
That's a very small contribution.
Look at how much you would have. You would have 157,000. Now, again, guys, that's just $10,000, no reinvesting, no adding. That's it. I just turned $10,000. That's 1,500% growth.
That's not bad.
Or is it 150? Whatever. You guys are getting my point.
Well, someone with a I'm not even going to, I was going to do the math, but I know there's a lot of them doing that with their calculators right now.
That's crazy, guys. That's crazy.
I'll wait for the answer in the chat.
I know, right? Guys, what people do is they hear those angry people talking on the news. They hear the stories.
I hate to tell you this, guys. Let me tell you what's going on. Those people on the news, this is a secret that they don't want you to know. Those same people that tell you to take your money out are the same people that are putting their money in.
Yeah, because guys, when you sell your shares, the price starts going down even more. The more that they're selling, the lower it goes. The lower it goes. And we all know logically we're supposed to buy low, sell high. So, hey, yeah, go sell your shares and I'm going to be right behind you buying them cheaper.
Those guys on the news, guess what? They manipulate the market.
What? No.
Yeah.
That's illegal. You can't do that.
I'm going to tell millions of people to get rid of this stock. And guess what I'm going to do? It's been proven, guys.
Elon Musk right now is being investigated. Why? Because he said something stupid the other day, caused Twitter stock to drop 25%. And now he's like, I think I overvalued you guys.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Why would he want to devalue his stock?
What? You mean because he's buying per share? So you guys, I don't know if you know this either. He's not just going, here, Twitter, here's my cash. He's going to buy their shares.
If you were going to buy the shares of a company and that's what you were on the hook for, would you want the value of those shares to go up or down?
Buy low, sell high.
Now, if you're the company that has those shares, how angry would you be? And where would you want your shares to be? Much higher.
Mm-hmm.
And if this person's making all the shares go lower before you get to sell it,
Mm-hmm.
one would say that might want to look into that as being illegal. I'd be a little upset if it was my company.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah.
In the streets, we might have to cap them.
That's capital asset pricing model. That's what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, of course. Yes, of course, Brandy.
Yes. So let's talk about hard hitting Wednesday, guys. Let's go into this. A lot of people in the hubbub of that article were talking about how the tax deferred system is wrong.
Oh my God.
Because they're going to tax you at a higher rate, right?
It's so bad.
Okay, guys. Look, you guys are all going to be financial professionals on this Zoom tonight. Every single one of you. I have no doubt in my mind that every single one of you will be carrying this license. And it is going to be your job because people are going to find out you have this license and they're going to come up to you and they're going to be like, tax deferred's bad, right? And you're going to smile and you're going to take a deep breath and you're going to say, here, let me explain this to you, sir or ma'am. Okay. And that's what we're going to talk about.
This is what I'm going to say. Hey, I got real estate in California City.
Oh man.
All right, go ahead.
I laugh, guys, because
it's like swampland in Florida.
Yeah. Okay, guys, what's tax deferred mean? Well, to understand fully what tax deferred means, you have to understand what it means to be not tax deferred.
Yeah, what's that mean?
All right. Not tax deferred, guys. This is when you're hearing when you guys are hearing people going, "Oh yeah, I day trade and I buy my cryptos and I do all of these things, right? And yeah, I made a couple $1 million." Okay. Did you buy that yesterday? Yeah. Did you sell that today? Yeah. That's a short-term gain. You're getting taxed at your tax rate. So you just got screwed.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about your capital gains.
Yes, guys. So this is like those individual accounts, right? These are our joint accounts. These are non-retirement accounts. Okay. Basically non-retirements. These are money. This is money that I could pull out anytime I want. Okay. No penalty, no nothing. Now, annually, what you're taxed on at your tax rate. So whatever your income tax rate is, you're going to be taxed annually. And that's what we call ordinary income. And you're going to be taxed on all the dividends received. Okay. So every year you're getting taxed on dividends. Okay.
Yeah. Like Oprah. You're getting taxed. You're getting taxed. You're getting taxed. Yeah.
Right. You receive a few $100s in dividends, you're going to be taxed. Now that's okay if we're talking a few hundred, but if I've got 400,000, if I got 500,000, if I got $1 million sitting in an account and that thing's paying a 10% dividend every year, yeah, you have to pay taxes on that.
That's 40,000
at your ordinary income rate.
Ooh. What if I got a day job? Does it add on to what I make in my day job?
Yes.
So if I make let's say I make $80,000 and I add another 40.
Well, no, that's going to be if you withdraw.
That's $120,000.
But it's still taxed at your 22% tax rate.
See, guys, I ask all the good questions.
Yes, he does. So then when you go to sell, guess what? Now we're going to get you on your capital gains. Now that's cool and all because, the favorable rate, that nice rate, that max 15%.
Yeah, that's all. These are all keywords from your studying, right? Favorable rate.
Yes, guys. But this is long term. This means that you must have held on to the security because we're talking about securities. But we can say held on to the assets for longer than a year. Okay. So that means you bought it March 15th you have to wait until March 16th the following year to sell it to get a gain. I mean, to get the favorable tax rate.
Got it. Yeah, because they want you to hold on to it.
Correct. Now, if I sold it within a year, like what people were doing in January 2021 with GameStop, if you buy and sell within a year, guess what your rate, your capital gain rate is? Yeah, guys, that's ordinary income rate. So now you're getting taxed on your dividends annually at your ordinary income rate. And if you bought something and sold it within a year, you're going to be taxed at the higher tax rate. Okay. So wouldn't it be awesome, instead of getting taxed on the income and if I sold it, I just get taxed once? That's tax deferred. Tax deferred says, hey, I'm going to hold this in an account for you that you can't touch until 59 and a half. But instead of charging you capital gains and dividends every year, we'll just charge you when you withdraw at your ordinary income tax rate. I feel like that's a savings.
That is a savings.
So instead of annual taxes, right, I'm just going to tax you once. You're taxed once on withdrawal.
On that bit that I withdraw.
On just the amount you take out for the year.
You're not charging me for the whole centavo.
Nope, just the amount taken. And we are going to tax you, though, at your ordinary. Because, guys, if I'm already saving you money by only taxing you one time. The least I could do is charge you the higher rate.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, but government's a little mafia.
They are. But at the same time, they try to be fair.
Right.
They try to be fair.
Yeah.
They need their money, too.
The bottom line is, guys, in all cases, the government always gets theirs.
Yes.
Always.
But your jobs as professionals is to go, oh.
How much of theirs do you want? How much of that do you want to give them?
You've got the 401k that was all done with pre-tax dollars, right? So every single dollar that's going into that 401k is pre-tax money. Your employer contributed. Awesome. Free money. You contributed. Awesome. That thing's growing like crazy. Awesome. Nothing has been taxed yet. So the entire amount is taxable. Okay.
Of course.
And we say entire amount is taxable. We say that, but again, guys, it goes back to what you withdraw in the year.
Right.
But the awesome thing about 401ks is that you can take loans against it. And everybody will say, well, yeah, well, you're borrowing your own money. Yeah. And guess what? I'm paying myself back as well. I'm not paying that bank over there. Or what's that other one? What's that? Cash call?
Oh.
Look, guys,
dude, cash call, they just might as well just give your organ over.
Isn't it like something like 200% or something?
Yeah, no. It's 300.
Yeah.
So you might as well hand over your kidney while you're at it.
But you pay yourself back. You're putting money back into your retirement. That's awesome. If you have to borrow a loan, if you have to borrow money, wouldn't it be better to borrow money from yourself? As opposed to our IRAs. Now, our IRAs, we do this on our own, right? These are on our own. It's supplement to our 401k. And we have that traditional, right? That traditional, which means, hey, if I contribute to my traditional IRA, I get a tax deduction this year. Awesome. I get a tax deduction, which means that lowers my taxes this year, right? Or
again, paying less taxes.
Or I could do that good old Roth. And if I'm, hold it until I'm 59 and a half and 5 years, it has to be both, guys. I get tax-free money when I retire. What? Are you kidding me?
It's already been taxed. The government already got theirs.
And they won't even tax you on the growth, but you have to keep it there for at least 5 years and be 59 and a half. But why not? Now, look, if I'm going to buy a house, I could take out, I could take up to $10,000 if I'm going to buy a house, and that's cool. But all of these guys, here's the thing. My Sparklets guy who said, I'm going to take out on my 401k when I'm 52. Here's what happens. A 52-year-old removing from any one of these accounts, not only are you adding to your taxable income, which could bump you up a tax bracket, but you're also going to have a 10% penalty on top of that. So you're paying a lot of money to keep your money safe. When we can just keep it in that 401k, ride the storm, and you'll be much better off in 10 years than you would if you took that money out, paid all that money in taxes, and have no time to recover.
Based on past performance.
Based on past performance, of course. Right? Yes.
Yeah, I have to make sure you said that.
Based on past performance.
All the history doesn't, it points to the fact that that's what happens.
Yes.
Time and time and time again.
Yes. If somebody had been contributing to let's say a 401k for the last 20 something years, and they're 52 years old, I would never suggest withdrawing from a 401k that close to being tax-free. You need some extra money, take a loan out. Seriously. But let's leave it in there.
It should be the last resort.
It should be the last resort.
The other thing before we go, I know the one thing that everybody always asks, what's better, my 401k or doing an IRA or doing a Roth?
Both.
Or all three.
Or all three. Why? Because guys, you can contribute like, oh my gosh, is it 19,000? I always forget the contribution limit. I want to say it's around 19,000 a year, approximately. Could even be 22. Let's just say 19K to 22K a year. And it is tax deductible, right?
This is what you were talking about, an IRA.
This is for the 401k.
Oh, 401k. Okay.
Now your IRAs, you can go up to 6,000 a year. Why not have both and write off 26,000 a year? Lower your taxable liability by $26,000.
Then why would I need a Roth?
Because now if you do a Roth, now you're supplementing your income. Now it's like I get to pay, let's say I'm 65 now, right? Let me turn my color. Turn my color. Let's say I'm 65 years old now, right? And let's say I want 5,000 a month. This is what I want in income. Okay. I could pull, I don't know, let's say I could pull, now it all depends on money, guys. It all depends on how much the accounts are. It depends on a lot of things, but this is an example. I'm going to take 3,000 from my 401k. Okay. I'm going to take, let's say 2,000 from my Roth IRA. Right? From my Roth IRA. This is tax-free. This is taxable. What is 3 times 12? 36,000. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This is 36,000 a year. This is 24,000 a year. And now this is now my tax bracket. But I'm making what? 60,000 a year.
Yep.
But I'm only paying taxes on 36,000.
I don't know about you guys, but that's a win.
Yeah. Guys, it's our jobs as financial professionals is to lower your tax liability, not eradicate it.
That's called a strategy.
This is strategy.
And if you're studying your 65, that's what you do.
Yes.
You develop strategies. It's not just selling a product, it's developing a strategy.
Yep.
That's where the suitability comes in. That's where listening to your clients comes in. What do they want? How much do they want? And putting a whole comprehensive plan all together in one big strategy so they get that, and then understanding how all the different parts work.
Yes.
And if they take one piece of the puzzle out, it doesn't make the full picture, and they have to know that.
Absolutely. For instance, my sister wants to retire when she's 55. She does not want to wait until she's 59 and a half. So as her financial advisor, I told her, I go, that means we need to give you income that you can withdraw on from the age of 59 to 60 that will not incur a tax penalty, because you got to be 59 and a half, right? And she goes, you know what's funny? She goes, nobody has ever, she goes, when I, mention this to other people, they never mention that. They just go, okay, cool, let's get this done for you. Nobody ever mentions not having something tax deferred to get her through those 5 years, which she would where she would incur a 10% penalty.
Hey, that only matters when taxes are due.
Right. That's 20 years from now.
And let me tell you, if you don't know all that stuff, guys, you're going to get one heck of a phone call when taxes are due.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't need to know tax laws, but you do need to know how these retirement plans do kind of work and how to get people's tax liability lowered.
Exactly. I love it.
You don't want them to pay more.
No, we want them to pay less. Like shoes.
Yes. But better quality.
Yes, because that store doesn't exist anymore. Yeah.
Okay, there's a few questions and then we'll go. Anthony had one in there somewhere. Oh, by the way, Justin did the math. That was 150% return of on interest or investment. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought I had too many zeros in there.
Yeah. And also, so Anthony put, if you did a Roth, would only be 19 to 22 tax deductible.
Well, Roths are not tax deductible. Remember that. Look, traditionals give you the tax benefit up front. Roths give you the tax benefit on the back end. We could spend next week maybe talking about the backdoor Roth, but that's a long conversation.
Maybe we'll do that on the Hard Hitting Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know how long it would take. I was Joanna had right here. Let's see. I was just going to ask, how much should we say about taxes?
That's a great question, Joanna. What I always tell people is that I literally say what I wrote here. It is taxable as your ordinary income. Well, what is my ordinary income?
Talk to your tax professional.
Talk to your tax professional. That's literally what I tell them. I go, look, I can only give you an example based on Google today, right? Because I Google tax rates. Like that's what
these are hypotheticals based on tax rates.
Right. But like there is, like if you guys are doing an application, you have to ask them what tax bracket they're in. And I'm going to say most average people don't know their tax bracket. So I go, okay, how much do you make? Do you file this? Do you file that? I just Google it. It's just for a form. It's not something that has to be set in stone. But when it comes to, well, how much am I going to pay in taxes conversation? That's when I say, consult with your tax person. I can only give you what the rule is. It's going to be taxed as your ordinary income, but your tax professional will know more about your other details.
And if you're a hustler, this is what's cool. When you say talk to your tax professional, some of you all might think that's a form of weakness because you don't know or like a cop out. It ain't.
No, it's not.
You want them to talk to your tax professional because it lessens your liability if the tax bill comes up wrong, different than what you say.
Heck yeah.
You don't have control over that. Secondly, do you know how many investments and referrals Brandy got because she knew more than their tax professional?
Mm-hmm. Legit.
And then got the tax professional their license?
Yep.
And now they do IRAs?
Mm-hmm.
Folks, you want them to talk
plus
to their tax professional.
Yes. Plus you want that relationship with tax people, because guess what's going to happen, guys? Even if they decide not to get their securities license, they'll have a client come in and say, man, you need to make a contribution to your traditional IRA. Do you have one? And instead of sending them to their bank, well, they'll be invested in a money market in their traditional IRA. They'll be referring them to you.
Yes.
To set it up the right way.
Yes. There's many sides to a hustle.
Heck yeah.
Learn them.
That's
know
right.
it. Spread the news.
That's right.
More importantly, get your license.
Heck yeah.
And speaking of that, all right, guys, it's time to go. I hope you enjoyed tonight. I thought this would be fun. I thought it'd be a great example on how all this works in our real life. You know how you go to school and you're like, when in the heck am I going to use this in my real life? Well, guess what? That wasn't tonight, because you're going to be using this in your real life.
This is real life. That's right.
So if you didn't catch it all, the replays will be up. So make sure you grab them. We got live sessions tomorrow. We'll be back for the Studying Brew Furious 5. We'll go over all 5 exams, 5 questions for each of them, and then we're going to answer them all with test taking techniques that you guys all love so much and you need to master oh so very much.
Yes.
So, but none of that can happen if you don't stay safe out there. So stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. Keep that positive mental attitude. PMA, everybody. Have a good night.
Guys, thank you so much for being on. We super appreciate you guys. Don't forget that quick quiz before you go to sleep tonight, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening, guys.
All right. See you guys.